What's going on? I'm going to be going over my custom mechanical keyboard build, so let's get right into it. First up is the board and case that I got. It was the idobo 75 key ortholinear hot swap board, and I got it off AliExpress. It's a case and board combo, and the plate is part of the case, and it includes an acrylic piece for RGB base glow. I do wish it had spacing for a bigger spacebar than 1 key wide, because that's the one thing I don't like about the ortholinear layout. Here's the case. It has space for 75 keys, and it's made out of anodized aluminum, which gives it a nice weight. It's heavier than my old full-sized mech board from Kailh, and it's significantly smaller. Now here's the board. It's a hot swap board, so you don't have to do any soldering to get the keys to work, which I thought would probably be smart for my first build. It has LEDs on the bottom for the underglow, but no LEDs for the keys. For the actual switches, I got them from Novel Keys. They're the Kailh Speed Bronze switches. They're a clicky switch, but they're quieter than most that I've tried, and they feel really nice and are really responsive, as the name implies. The case came held together just by 2 of the screws on the back. And here's the acrylic piece for the RGB underglow. It came a little dirty, but I just used a wet rag to wipe it off and it came clean. I just started by snapping some keys into each corner and then a few throughout, just so I could get a good connection to the board. As I was putting them in, I had to double check to make sure that the pins on the bottom weren't bent so it didn't mess up the board. Also, just make sure you're putting the keys in the correct way, because they will go in upside down. Once you have the corners filled out and a few spread throughout, you can snap the board into place. Just make sure you line up the pins with the holes on the board, and then just press them together and they should snap right in. Once I had all those switches snapped in, I put in the main screw in the back. Then I just started to fill out the rest of the keyboard with the switches. I did have a couple switches that the pins on the bottom were already bent. I had heard that sometimes not all the switches will work that you receive as well, so I made sure to order more than I needed. Once I had all the switches in, I put the rest of the screws in the back of the board to attach it to the case. This is the back plate, and it's where the feet attach to, so you just put these screws through and then thread on the feet. Now I just put the whole case back together. I had to line up the back plate and the acrylic piece, then line it up with the cutout for the USB-C port. Then once everything was lined up, just screwed in the screws on the back plate. Once I had all the screws in, I just attached the rubber feet to the back plate. The keycaps I used are the GMK Red Samurai. They're a cherry profile keycap that are double shot ABS. They have this cool red, black, and yellow theme, with the Japanese kanjis as well. So building the keyboard was pretty easy. The harder part was programming it. There wasn't really clear instructions on how to do it. I'm gonna have some videos linked in the description that really helped me out when using the software to program it. Here I had to use some extra keys that I had laying around because the GMK Red Samurai didn't come with enough keycaps to fill out the board completely, but in the end I didn't like how these extra keys didn't match. They had like clear see-through text on them, so I ended up just buying some plain black keycaps and swapping them out. The cable that the board and case came with is a pretty nice cable. So I think I'm going to end up swapping it out. I want to make my own custom coiled cable because it doesn't seem that hard, so that might be an update I do in the future. And now for a typing and sound test. And here is the final build of it with the plain black keycaps added in. I think it ended up looking a lot better with the plain black ones than it did with the clear text ones, and I'm really happy with how it ended up. Back to the sound for a moment. It has a good clicky sound to it that isn't too loud, but there is a little bit of ping from the case. I might try and find a way to dampen it a little with some foam in the future, but it might be difficult because there's not a lot of extra room in the case. As for the feel of the ortholinear layout, it's fine initially. It's just kind of hard to break some of the muscle memory of the normal keyboards. And not having a big space bar is kind of a pain, along with the back button being one key. But it's definitely something you can get used to, and I much prefer this layout in-game, as I was using the Razer Orbweaver before, and it basically has an ortholinear layout. So I was really used to it. And now with this, I really enjoy using it for gaming. And it gives you more room than a normal keyboard. It's basically the size of a 65% layout. So you have plenty of room on your desk for your mouse. If you're interested in anything, I'll have links in the description to all the parts that I used in this build. That was my first custom keyboard build. It was a lot of fun and I really liked the way it turned out. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe for more tech and gaming content. Thanks for watching.